In this video, I'm going to show you how to stop cold email A/B testing like a complete lunatic, or as I say, a marketer, and actually show you how to do it like a salesperson. So the problem is that most of you have learned A/B testing strategies from marketers, which is great for marketers, not so great for salespeople. The reason is marketers teach you to isolate a single variable, i.e. they basically have you micro test a bunch of things. So give it like an example, your call to actions. A bad approach for salespeople is to micro test little tiny things in their copy and try to find statistical significance. You're going to waste a whole bunch of time doing that. It's going to be completely useless for about 99% of you because you're just going to end up beating your head up against the wall. You're going to have analysis paralysis, and you're ultimately going to end up not finding statistical significance if you're micro testing your copy. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to A/B test your cold emails to save you time, help you find more statistical significance, speed up your learning process, and be more successful and ultimately make more sales. If you don't know me, my name is Patrick Spielman. I'm the founder and CEO of Uptycs, which is a sales automation CRM, and I've helped thousands of sales pros and over 3,000 customers scale up their outreach with a lot of my proven strategies. I was also a 6-time growth award-winning master franchisee, top 10 franchise at a company called Sculpture Hospitality, and I built a 7-figure outbound sales agency. Just a warning in this video that everything I'm going to teach you is based on real life experience, which I know sounds a little bit shocking, but it's a little bit uncommon in this day and age. So let's dive into the video. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, this is a Notion doc that I'm diving into here. The link is in the description. You can make a copy of it. So step 1 for this A/B testing, what you want to do is you want to write your cold emails using a proven framework. And I have one here for you if you don't have a proven framework. It's called my hook, line, and sinker cold email framework. And this link here is a link to my custom GPT that's trained on my framework. If you click this link, after you watch this video, it's going to take you to another YouTube video, and then you'll actually be able to get access to the custom GPT that I have in here. And it does a really good job. It's going to research your company to get context about how to write cold emails. And then you're going to give it like a persona, you're going to give it an angle, and then it's going to research those personas and identify the top problems they have, the consequences, and then the desires. So this is super, super important because ultimately with your A/B testing, what you want to do is you want to pick a completely different angle for each of your A/B test variants. So like I mentioned in the intro, you don't want to micro test like a call to action and little things. If you get that advanced, congratulations, get to that point. But I'll give you some advice towards the end that you'd probably want to stick to anyway. So once this GPT does the work, and if you don't use my GPT, that's fine. It's free. There's no risk in it. But you could just go research on ChatGPT and identify the top problems, consequences, and desires of your target personas. Not that hard. Ultimately, what you want to do then is you want to use your different angles based on the different problems that are identified. So example, angle 1, high maintenance costs. In my research here from the GPT, one of the first things it identified was high maintenance costs. The GPT might also script, might not be the right problems. You might have the idea of problems in your head that you want to actually use. Totally fine. I'm just using this as an example. So my first cold email, and this isn't my follow-up email. I'm not talking about follow-up emails. I'm talking about email number 1, A/B/C testing. And you can do D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P. You can do all of that stuff, and I encourage you to do it. I found winners on like J tests, and it's kind of crazy to see. So I'm just going to give you 3, so the first angle, the first cold email is going to be written on angle 1. The second one is going to be written on angle 2. So lack of income, high maintenance costs. Angle 3 is license at risk. So this example, just FYI, maybe I should back up a second. It's for targeting real estate agents for a particular offer, one of our clients. The point is with this strategy that your emails are going to resonate completely different with your prospects, which is a good thing. Right? Versus trying to micro test a call to action, you're not going to find any statistical significance with that. But if you approach them completely different, then you're going to be able to increase your odds of finding a variation, one of these angles that works better than the other. And the last thing that you want to do is double down on an angle that doesn't work. I see too many people just launching one angle and then thinking that they came up with the best idea and they thought their idea of what their prospects want was the best idea. In reality, that is actually very far from the truth. We have a very distorted reality of what our prospects actually want because we are so close to the problem and we obsess over it because it's our business and we're trying to sell it, that it's not really the problem that your prospects are facing in their day-to-day. That's why accelerating your testing by doing multiple variations is super, super helpful. And that's why picking different angles is better than micro-testing the solution or micro-testing the call to action. Those are the famous ones. Or micro-testing even the subject lines. Subject lines, yeah, it's great to test them over the course of time, but not that helpful, to be honest with you. But picking different angles is going to find you more statistical significance than micro-testing copy. And you want to hedge your bets that you don't know exactly how your prospects are going to resonate. And so the idea here is to find one of these variations that resonates more on average than the other one across your lead list. That's what we want to do. And ultimately, this is going to lead to the higher odds that you find a winner if you do multiple. If you can do more than 3, even do more than 3, fantastic. So our angles are really kind of like a thesis for each ABC test. We pick a problem. What we want to do is we actually want to use our consequences of the problems and then our desires to write the cold emails. So let me just give you an example for this particular client. So variation 1, the subject line was license maintenance issue. John, our high MLS fees and association dues eating into your savings. So it's going after the high maintenance costs here. And then the second line, and this is what like the GPT should do. Second line is going to be based on the consequence. The biggest challenge many face without a broker and incurring high costs. So it should pick basically the consequence up above from the GPT. And then we're going to pick a solution. So your offer is going to be, the solution. We want to come up with an irresistible offer or an irresistible lead magnet. This one isn't perfect. It's just an example. And then you want to do a desire-based call to action usually. So this framework, this GPT that I've got up here, it follows a problem, agitate, solution with some changes. It's more like problem, consequence, solution, call to action. The next variation, income issue. Are you struggling to generate income without active sales? Ask them because after working with thousands of agents, the biggest challenge many faced was the lack of income opportunities. So this one's going after the lack of income. If you just read these and you're the reader, let's say you're the prospect, these different things mean different things to you. And they might stand out completely different in your inbox. Versus obsessing about like, how can I make the best call to action? It doesn't really matter for the most part. How you approach them earlier on in the problem and the consequences of the problem is going to make a bigger lift and impact on your A/B testing and the statistical significance than little micro copy. Now for variation number 3, license retention issue. Mike, is keeping your real estate license active becoming a hassle? Asking us after working with thousands of agents, the biggest challenge many faced was the difficulty in maintaining their license without a broker. So 3 completely different approaches. So instead of trying to take one variation, right, and then make several iterations of that, if you get to that level, congratulations, you've probably gone through a lot of different A/B tests. And you found that like this one just happens to work the best. And you've tested. And then if you get to that point, it might be worth starting to micro test. Things like call to actions, things like your offer, of course. But a lot of times it's better to just double down on a winning angle. And by double down, I mean archive the variations that aren't working and then write new variations and not to micro test. So it is tempting to micro test things like this, thinking like, oh, I've tested all 3 of these. I've tested every single one of these. This one was the winner. And then I'm going to go start micro testing my call to actions and whatnot. But the false reality of that is that this one probably isn't even the best that you can do. And you're going to see likely more statistical improvements if you just keep testing more variations, more angles. So instead of going with 3, add a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, all different angles, different problems you can address. Instead of the tempting thing to start testing multiple call to actions. Certainly you could test like different opening lines and whatnot, but keep testing more and more angles. If you keep micro testing, it's only going to slow you down. It's going to come at a cost. So that's everything I have for you in this video. If you got some value from the content, I'd love if you would like it, share it, comment below if you have any questions. I answer every single comment, and I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. And if you found these tips really helpful and you want to take your sales to the next level, I'd invite you to check out my software Uptakes, where you can prospect, engage, and convert customers faster and win more business using the most intuitive and effective outbound sequencer with dynamic email deliverability, multi-channel outreach, and lead nurturing paths to help you succeed. And we do have a free trial. You can click here to sign up. All right, so see you all in the next video. Thanks.